So I'm here again today with Kira Berman, who works with the University of Michigan's Natural History Museum. For this last segment, Kira, I'd like you to address the idea of museum programming and how you go about thinking, or how you think about going about creating stories, and what goes into a story, what components of the story are compelling, and what grabs museum audiences' attention.
I think that storytelling in particular in a museum is often in the context, at least where I work, of a scientist talking about their own personal experiences with a visitor or a family, or in the case of a science cafe, with adults in a pub. But in either case, I would say that we want to foster that communication and that sense of informal, personal communication between the scientist and the participant.
So it's relationship building?
So part of it is relationship building. Part of it is a sense of scientists as real people and of science as a process. And to that end, I think when we as educators or as scientists talk about our own curiosities, talk about the why, the big idea first, we sometimes are able to create a relevance that we wouldn't have otherwise. And when we share our own silly experiences, when we use humor and other ways to get ideas across, those things, as we know from other experiences from everyday life, right? When we have surprising, humorous experiences, those are memorable. They stick with us. So those are some of the things that we use in storytelling. Storytelling, though, is not the only thing that we remember.
True. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
So we sometimes remember social interactions. We sometimes remember special objects that instill awe.
Like a meteorite or something like that?
Yeah, like a meteorite, or a fossil, or something that's special or rare or unusual, or even something that someone famous used or touched. So those are other kinds of ways of creating a moment. Sometimes it's an experience. In nature centers, they sometimes have birds come very close to you at a bird feeder because you've got that experience, that close encounter, right?
Sure.
With a live animal. So those are the other kinds of things that we'll tend to remember in addition to storytelling. So yes, I think storytelling and finding ways to relate the stories that we tell to our own feelings, our own life stories, our own experiences with everyday life is fundamental to communicating. But there are also in museums particularly, there are other ways that we communicate effectively.
That makes a lot of sense. I very much appreciate you sharing your perspective with us today. Thank you so much for coming in.
I'm so happy to have done so.